welcome this morning or this evening or whenever it is that you guys are watching this to Built on Faith Homestead. Here we like to talk about the Lord. We like to talk about our tiny house and tiny house living. We like to talk about things like raising animals and growing gardens and learning about wild edibles and all those kinds of things. But we want to talk today about using what you have. With the price of everything going up, and I mean everything going up, we thought maybe we'd do this video. Most of this kind of stuff is stuff you guys all, I'm sure, have thought of. But maybe it will knock the cobwebs out of your noggin and get you to thinking, right? And one of the first things I'm going to talk about using what you have, and that's grass. All right, guys. So here's one of the things we do to help save some money, using what you have around you. See all this really tall grass because I haven't been able to mow yet because it has been so wet and nasty out here. And in fact, with our rabbits, I like to find an area, if you can, of a place where maybe you only mow it once every couple weeks, or a couple areas where you always have some taller grass, something that's easier to pull for your rabbits. And I'll just show you guys, if I can figure out how to hold the camera and do this all at the same time here, what I do. I just take handfuls of grass like so, and I go through and I just pull the top tender pieces off just like so, right? And I'll show you, remembering that this is mostly supplemental. This is to supplement their feed. They're not eating just this, right? But I'll pull that, if you can tell, about that much grass, and I'll just say, okay, that's one rabbit worth of grass. Now, knowing how many rabbits you have, then you just pick about that many handfuls per rabbit, and you feed it to them. And this will go a long ways to helping your feed bill for sure. Right there will be plenty. I have really been paying attention to about how much grass they eat, or how much feed they eat a day, and giving them just about that much feed every day. To help with feed waste, to help keep them from digging and knocking all their feed out. And if it rains or something like that, the way our hutches are set up, the feed will get wet in their feeders a lot of times. So I mean, you can see the way that roof is, right? Rain can come down that direction and get down in their feeders. They're always messing with them, like this one here. But we'll show you guys feeding this rabbits. I'll show you guys how they prefer the grass over the feed. Most of the time, they'll probably make a liar out of me this morning, but most of the time, and we'll give them some grass, like I said, just to supplement their feed. You guys can tell, these guys are all eating their grass, with the exception of maybe one. They're all eating their grass rather than eating the nice fresh feed they just got this morning, because they prefer the grass. So that's one way, if you have rabbits, using what you have, using the grass. Another way, you guys see this old pen here I've built, once again out of scrap material, obviously. But you guys see this old pen that we built out of scrap material. This is our grow out pen for our rabbits. There's a couple of rabbits that are going to the butcher eventually. By to the butcher, I mean we're going to butcher them. It is on runners, which you can see right down here. And those runners keep it off the ground just a few inches. And these guys are actively fertilizing what is going to be our garden spot. And I'll show you guys kind of what they have done. They have just been in this spot. There's two rabbits on that one side. So here's all the fertilizer they have put on the ground. And here's where the single rabbit has been. And they have fertilized this little spot. And I just keep pulling them around all winter long. I've kind of had them on that spot that I have already disked up once. And those rabbits are being used for fertilizer. If you will remember my cattle panel potato video, we were scooping up the rabbit poop, which is why the rabbits are back here by the garden. We were scooping up the rabbit poop to use as fertilizer in our potatoes and in our raised flower beds. Once again, if you're going to have these animals, they're going to create manure. Manure is a great fertilizer. Rabbit manure, in fact, is considered a cold fertilizer. You don't have to let it compost. It's a great fertilizer, right? And so if you can use that then instead of buying store-bought fertilizer for a small size operation, Even if you had a great big operation, you could use a bunch of rabbit fertilizer on fields or whatever, right? You can upscale that to whatever kind of animal, whatever kind of manure they're going to leave, and actually use that to your benefit. Use what you have instead of having to buy it from the store to try to get your expenses down as far as you can, right? You're still gonna have expenses, but if you can get it down some, every little bit will help, especially in the day and time we live in now. All right, the next thing we're gonna talk about is the chicken. We've got a supervisor this morning up in the window. Say hi, Leah. Can you say hi? She's doing a good job supervising Daddy while I'm out here getting the animals took care of. We like to get our kids involved as much as we can. But like I said, we're getting a late start, and I'd already let the chickens out, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the rooster don't like Leah. And Leah ain't big fan of the rooster. The rooster might try to flog her, and she tries to chase him down. And instead of just running him off and leaving him alone, then she just keeps chasing him. And so I can't get the rooster or the kid to listen. So this morning, I thought it might just be easier if she stayed inside. So we'll show you guys our old beat up chicken tractors. When we moved down here, I'll be honest with you guys, it was hot. I got them loaded on the trailer, and then it fought me the whole way loading them. It fought me unloading them. I was hot and tired. I'm not gonna lie, I hooked them up to a chain with my tractor and said they're coming off that trailer, either it be in pieces or in one piece. And it kind of is a combination of both. But I'll show you the point of these chicken tractors, what our original plan was, what our plan going forward was. Once again, using what you have to help benefit you. Here is the new birds. They are all alive and well. They still haven't figured out to go up in the coop at night. I've been getting them every night and putting them in the coop. But all 10 of them are still there and doing well, which if you've ever raised chickens, that's a blessing. So, once again, these chicken tractors are all repurposed material. I've built it from repurposed lumber, repurposed plywood. The only thing I really got in is nails and screws. Repurposed cattle panel I traded for the chain link fence, which I'll probably never use again because it was really heavy. But made our little hoop house of a thing here. The plan originally was to build 4 or 5 of these and let these hold our breed stock. You can see we got our table scraps over here for these birds. Once again, utilizing what you have to help feed your chickens. We're gonna have 4 or 5 of these, pretty well keep them in here all the time, and just move them around to help keep them on fresh grass. We have since changed plans, and I may not build any more of these actually. I may just try to fix these up some, make them a little bit better, try to salvage what we can off of them, and then use these for these guys right here, for these type of birds that are feathered out, don't need a heat lamp no more, but they need extra security still because they're small enough, like a hawk or something will swoop down and get them. I've not really had much issue with hawks getting birds like this, right, full grown birds. It's the guys like these that they'll swoop down and get, and we need to let them get bigger. So my plan is to, and this has all got all kinds of chain link and chicken wires and whatever scrap stuff I could hunt up. Our plan is to use these to finish out, to get birds past this point and up big enough to free range them. And then we've actually been inspired by Justin Rhodes. If you've ever checked out their YouTube stuff, I encourage you to do so. I don't remember the name of it, but if you type in like Justin Rhodes and like homesteading, it'll come up. He's like super popular on there. But anyway, he has a thing they call a chickshaw, right? Which is just a coop on big wheels, basically, and then they can move them around wherever they want to. And we've been inspired by that, and we feel like for us, probably that's our best option. We can hot wire the chickens off with some poultry netting, clip their wings to keep them from flying, put them in that chickshaw. And then we can move them around wherever we want to once they get bigger. Let them eat out of the old garden, move them around to different areas, keep them on fresh grass and bugs, once again, to help with feed. These are movable. I can hook them up to the tractor and drag them along, and they actually do really well. And they fit that purpose. However, we think we have a better way maybe of doing things. We're going to get an old chicken coop from a family member that doesn't use it anymore. It's a little rough, a little beat up over time. And I'm going to make it our brooder for some baby chickens, so we can start buying baby chickens, and then eventually, hopefully, start hatching eggs one of these days, right? But we are building into that process very slowly. Once again, we are not multimillionaires and don't have the money to sink into all of it right now, but moving forward, that is our plan. Even these feeders were made out of scrap PVC pipe that I either found laying around at our old house that were unused, or I had extra from building this house. The covers are just old milk jugs, right, covered up, that were actually feeders for little baby chickens that we used to have. I cut holes in the bottom of them and feed the chickens that way. Just old gravity feeders, work just fine. They love it. And we will get them some fresh feed today. Whenever I go to move this, my wife or somebody will have to come in here and keep the chickens from getting ran over as I move it with the tractor. But you do that 3 or 4 times and they pretty well get used to it. It's not a problem. But repurposing and reusing what you got help you save a little bit of money here and there. All right, guys. So, using what you have doesn't just mean like building stuff, right? It's also when it comes to food. And I want to show you guys kind of what my wife has been doing in here while I have been outside taking care of the animals. Here is a lovely cast iron pan of banana bread with the bananas that was about to go bad on us, so we wanted to use that. And then here is some beef stew that she is making from our some stuff we had in the freezer, some beef and such that was probably getting close to going bad. I don't particularly like soup when it starts getting over 30 years old, or not 30 years old. 30 degrees, 30-year-old soup would be bad, but 30 degrees outside. However, it is more important to use what you have, and you know what? I'll not be picky, and I will like soup for sure because it smells delicious. Is there anything else, sweetheart, that you can think of? You don't think so?
But I don't know if you've already talked about it, but also with everything getting so high, it's a good idea to use what you have too. Just because you can't afford it.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Also, we got carrots over here from our garden. It's going to go in our beef stew, right? Just use up what you got. Like I said before, these are probably things that you guys have all thought about and are doing. Surely you guys are all saving your bacon grease and those kinds of things by now. However, this video is just more to get you to think. Get you to think about maybe thinking outside the box and using what you have around to help save a little bit of money here and there. So that pretty well sums up our use what you got video. Use what you got around videos, help save some money video, right? There'll be some other similar videos coming along one of these days. But I also want to tell you that I believe this is a biblical practice. To use what you can around or what you have around, to eat your leftovers and all those good things. And you say, preacher, how's that a biblical practice? Well, if you will go and you'll read the story when Jesus took the 5 fish and 2 loaves of bread. Isn't that right? 5 fish, 2 loaves?
5 bread, 2 fish.
5 bread, 2 fish. I get it mixed up. You would think I would know, but I don't. Anyway, whatever it is, go back and read it. And you will read where his disciples took up the leftovers that were left so nothing would be wasted.
I just did that.
Was it 12 baskets? So my wife just did the lesson. She's ahead of me on it at church for the little ones. But to take up those leftovers, and it said so nothing would be wasted. Yes, things are expensive. And yes, things are going to be financially tight for a lot of people, ourselves included. They already are, right? But if you can use what you already got laying around, if you can repurpose it, if you can eat the leftovers, make something else out of it, it will go a long ways to helping you guys out as well as us. And sometimes we have to kind of force the issue, right? After about day 2 of eating spaghetti that's left over, it's kind of like, man, I want something different. But you kind of need to learn to force yourself to go ahead and finish the spaghetti. That way none of it's wasted. And then if you have chickens or pigs or something like that that will eat the food scraps, if you do have food scraps, you can feed it back to them. They produce eggs and meat. Voila, you have got less waste. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the videos that you see. It goes a long way to helping us out. Also, still, somewhere around 80-ish% of you guys that watch our videos are not subscribed. So if you do enjoy what you watch here on our videos, please like and subscribe to our channel. Go a long way to helping us out. We will catch you guys next time.